Down the middle, opportunistic. Captain Pluto further back. Bruce Almighty takes the lead at the 150. Bruce Almighty gets the better of Benji's. He's kicked and he's coming away down the outside. Red Sun Sensation, but Bruce Almighty wins first up from Red Sun Sensation. Oh, look at the two Cerise and White Horses.
Well, what a marvel he is, Alex, and I can tell that was a really special win for Neville Parnham with his horse, Bruce Almighty. And I got to watch the race standing right next to him as well on Saturday out there as Neville Parnham joins us on the program. Nifty, congratulations on the win on Saturday. And what more is there to say about this horse? He just seems to come back each and every preparation and get the job done.
Yeah, he's an old marvel, isn't he? You know, like 10 years of age and, you know, like even like last or earlier this year, we had cited that, you know, he was 9-year-old rising 10 and whether we should sort of, you know, maybe considered retiring him. And anyway, we put him in the paddock, and I just got Bruce Saxelder and from Oz Racing to talk to all the owners and see what they wanted to do. And the only reason there was some contemplation on maybe another prep was because he's such a sound horse and he does enjoy being in work and with a rug on and getting fed twice a day and enjoying himself. But so yeah, after the discussion, they came back to me and they said, "What did I think?" And I said, "Well, we could bring him in, give him a bit of a prep, and see how he, you know, if he's still got that zest in himself. If he has, we'll go on with him. If he doesn't, we'll call it a day." So. They decided on that plan, and yeah, he's just been thriving and trialled up beautifully the other day. And you know, we went in there thinking that he would run a bold race. I did think he was well over the odds, but in saying that, you know, that when you're running up against a horse high in the betting in the railway stakes and an unbeaten horse, you sort of feel like. You know, you probably can't beat that particular horse, but I think it all just sort of worked out for him, to be honest. I didn't think they went out that strong out in front. So it was a reasonable tempo without being a fast tempo, and with those two horses of Mr. Peters drawing the outside gates, they went back and it was just a bit too far for them. They were thundering home, but... you know, not just those two horses. There's, you know, the likes of Captain Pluto's pretty handy and Fear the Wind and Fast Flicker rushing to the bar. So, you know, I thought the horse, you know, he just had a beautiful run outside the lead and Blackdale rode him well. And when he asked him at the 200, he gave a good kick and it was just had enough in hand.
He did. The race was never in doubt, really, from the 150-metre mark with the run he had. As you touched upon, it was a great ride, positive ride from Lakdar as well. And usually, Neville, it's Steve, Brad or Chris taking centre stage with your stable. But Lakdar's been able to nick a couple of pretty big races for you over the last fortnight, which I'm sure is also reward for a lot of work that he's done behind the scenes, and I guess the opportunities that you've also given him over the course of his career here in WA.
Yeah, like he came here for, I think it was a year, and he's been here quite a while through the COVID. You know, he wasn't able to sort of travel back, and you know, for one thing or another, he's had a bit of an extension. You know, with his visas, and yeah, he's still hanging around, and he's riding in great form actually. Got another couple of winners yesterday at Geraldton, and he's been going really well of late. And yeah, he's always there as our, you know, he's always got a few rides in the stable of his own, but he's always there to back up the stable when Steve or Chris or Brad have other commitments. And in this occasion, Chris rode the opportunistic. It was a good offer of a ride, so you know, I had no hesitation in offering Lucky the ride, and I thought he did a great job as he did on multinational last week in the Hammonds.
Neville, we've spoken a fair bit about it previously. You're so skilled at getting these horses like Bruce Almighty to have long and profitable careers, and they're not Group 1, Group 2 gallopers, but you've had so many over your career that have had 6, 7 seasons of racing at Saturday level, continuing to earn. I mean, horses like Grey Enigma, Ken's Double come to mind. Beyond Dispute was a champion. Lunar Module, Bruce Almighty in that similar vein. Do these type of horses hold a special place within you? And do you have one or two that you're really fond of?
Oh, for sure. There's definitely. Oh, Bruce is obviously currently in the stable, so he's obviously getting, special attention. And you always get a kick when they can come out. And when he never lets you down, he always runs a bold race. But when they win, you just get a bit of an extra kick out of it, I guess. But, for sure, over the years there's been many nice horses. Like you said, Beyond Dispute, he was a ripper. He won, about 18 races or so. And over the journey of my training career, we had horses like Lucretius Lad, who won 23 races, I think, or 21 races, and I think Fully Loaded won about 23 or 4. They're just really good old horses, and I guess that's where I sort of learned a lot about horses and older horses. And when I was training, I first kicked off my career training in Broome, and you've got to keep your horse happy, and they race regularly, week in, week out. And back in those days, we ran them 2-3 times a week, and you just had to sort of work them out what they needed and what they wanted, and to keep them sound and happy and fit. And I guess I always drag on that those memories, and work with the horses, and hopefully they can stay sound and still produce at a city level is something quite extraordinary for a 10-year-old. Though I'm sure there's been plenty around that have like Rock Magic and horses that have won as 10-year-olds, but there'd be only a handful of them, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In esteemed company to be able to win a Saturday race, let alone a race at Rising 10, that is for sure. Neville, of your other runners on the weekend, you would have been wrapped with the performances of Scully and Calora in their respective efforts. So did both find one better, but seemingly getting closer in a win, you wouldn't suggest is too far away for either of those.
Yeah, Calora ran well. Chris rode him good. He just got him into, I just didn't know where he was going to be, and, I left it up to him, but he finished up fine in the back of a horse. It was 3 deep, and he got some cover and a nice drag into the race. And, for a fleeting moment there, actually it was the winner he was tracking, and for a fleeting moment when he loomed up outside him, he looked like he was going to join him, but that horse just had a little bit more class and was able to pull away. But he held on well, and it was a good sound effort, and he's run a couple of seconds at his last 2 starts on Saturday races, so hopefully a win is around the corner to reward him. He's a horse that's had 2 bowed tendons in his career, and he's done a great job to sort of get back to this sort of level. So he was good, and Scully, we didn't have very good barriers on the weekend, so we left everything up to our jocks, and they rode him well. I mean, I just said to Chris, just don't ride him for speed, and he took over the rest. And because I had actually noticed in a few of his replays from the east that he could come home with a pretty strong run, and I just had a feeling that Ascot would be a better track for him. I don't think he was that happy on the wet tracks. A couple of wet tracks he sort of struck after he won, and at Belmont. But, I think he's a pretty handy horse, and he'll go through the grades and probably get to a level like Bruce Almighty or something like that. But he really come flashing home, and I was really, really impressed with his performance. But I'm still learning with the horse. But what I have sort of thought about is I do think he sort of goes good when you can space him out a little.
Yep.
I think you get that real good kick out of him when you do. So, but as I said, still learning with him, and hopefully we'll get it all right, and we'll be able to get a few on the board with him.
It was a big morning for yourself at the trials at Belmont Park as well, Neville, taking out 7 of those heats. Who was, I guess, who were the gallopers from your team that impressed you the most with what they were able to deliver in their preliminaries as they get back to the races at the trials?
Yeah, look, we've had a team sort of getting ready for the Ascot season, and obviously some of the better ones are trying to put their hand up and see where they fit in. But the 2-year-old was good, I thought. Splintex horse that Paul Cook and myself bred. We raced the dam smashing, and she was quite handy. But this one is nowhere near as big as her. But it's very professional. Lactar has done a lot of work on it, and he was pretty confident she would trial very well today. And he said, I'll just look after her. And I said, just ask her that last little bit just to let her know that she's got to find the line. And when he did give her a bit of a squeeze, she sort of got a half length on that second horse. So
Yep.
I was pretty impressed with her. I thought she was pretty good, and she'll go on to the next 2-year-old race. But of the others, obviously, I was excited to see September Born back there. He's going really, really well, the horse. We've had to sort of alter his training to somewhat, and his shoeing, and just little things that we've been doing with him seem to be working at the moment. Changed his diet, etc. So his feet are in pretty good nick. He just ran out of puff today. That Sky Duke had him sort of marching, and he was right back in the field, and he was swallowing him up late. But Brad said he probably blew out a little bit about the 150, and he just kept coming. But he'll improve a lot off that. He had a big blow, so I'm just wanted to see where we're at with him where we were at with him in that sense, fitness wise, and before we decide on where he goes first up. But we'll let the dust settle there and work a plan. He might even go to the trials at Larkhill next week as well before we take him there. But we'll just see how he goes for the rest of the week. And good. And Demolish was terrific in that trial too for a stayer.
Sure was.
He was monstering the line as well. So I thought he was good. And Sue Run was very, very good. She found the line good. Needed that. She had a bit of a timeout after her last win, and she'll hopefully be measuring up to worthy of starting in a Burgess Queen and perhaps a Champion Fillies if she can run that far. But she won a 14. That's why I put her in a 14 actually at her last start, and she won that quite well. So she's given us her first tick that she can run 14. So we're heading in the right direction with her. We think she's come up well, and Country God, he had a bit of an ease up, and he's come back really good. He just got pipped on the line. He was in front, and don't think that's his go. Jade rode him today for us, and she said likewise that, probably better to chase, but he was nice and fresh and sort of jumped and bounced to the front, and no one else wanted to be there. So he was really good. I was very pleased with him. So, a few of the others were quite good. Pemberton was good. Overdrive was very good. She's come back well. So hopefully there's a win or two there.
Yeah, well, you'd think so. A bit to dissect. Some pretty good trollers there this morning, Nev. For you to follow up on September Born, we know, as you said, this horse had those issues last preparation, so we haven't seen him at the races since the Guineas of last year. Do you have a plan at this stage or a target race at this stage following his second trial, or are you going to take it sort of week by week? And Country God I want to follow up on with as well. Is that a sort of a Guineas path for him?
Look, we'll start out that way. He'll head towards perhaps the Belgravia. I haven't decided yet, but he'll definitely go to the Faritha, and then we'll sort of work out which is the best, way to go with him. I think, if he's going to run a mile or he's got to come back to, a shorter distance, but so just feeling our way with him at the moment. I'm still mindful of the fact that the dam I trained was, a real short course horse, but he was good. The last prep, he won 3 out of, or was it 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4? 3. But he was very good, and I think he's quite a smart horse actually, and him and Zuzu Run, I think they're quite smart and they're a little bit untapped at the moment. So they need to sort of lift a bit because there's a lot of good 3-year-olds out there, or pretty even bunch, and obviously there's a few late 2-year-olds that did well during the winter, including those two, and then you've got the ones from the autumn, which they've stood up and were counted there on Saturday. So it'd be interesting times going forward, but we're hopeful that we can measure up to them, and that's where we'll go. September Born, haven't decided 100% yet. I mean, we would like to think that we could go to a railway stakes with him because he'd get in pretty light, but he's still got a fair few rating points to sort of gain before he could get a start in that race. So all options are open, but look, he's a very, very talented horse, and I think once this gallop he had there today, he'll jump out of the ground next time he goes out there, and looking forward to him returning because he's quite an exciting horse, and if he remains sound, he will just put his hand up, and I reckon over the carnival, and just got to get him in those races and earn enough points, I guess.
Very exciting to see now that he has seemingly worked through a few of those soundness issues, that we might finally get to see the true and the best edition of September Born. Neville, we've spoken about One Old Marvel in your stable, and perhaps not in the same age range as Old Bruce, but Zip Away and Bustler, how are they ticking along behind the scenes, and do we see that pair make their returns to the races this weekend?
I thought you were talking about me then for a second. No, they're coming good. I didn't trial them today because I had the opportunity to gallop on the grass on Saturday, and they both had quite searching gallops, and both worked very, very well after they've had trials. I'm pretty happy with them where they're at, and they'll both go around this Saturday. One will run in the Eurythmic over 14, and the other will run in the Crawford, isn't it, Saturday?
Yep,
over 1200. I'm thinking it's probably likely that Bustler goes to the Crawford, but they set weights and penalty races, so I don't think they'll be hugely, 59.5, I think, Bustler, and 58.5 for Zip Away, but that gives me. I was going to trial Bustler again, but I decided that, it probably is better to get a run into him and then step into the Lestia and then into the railway, rather than going into the railway second up after the Lestia stakes. But that's the path he'll take. We'll just work out where Zip Away goes next, whether he goes to a race like the Asian Bow, or he goes to the Lestia and then hopefully into the railway after that, and then we'll work out their pattern from there.
Do we have a winner or two for our listeners, Neville, throughout this week leading into what's going to be a massive Saturday? You've got a number of runners entered. We won't go through all of them, but Long Service Leaf, a pretty impressive winner on debut. Maz Mello, an intriguing runner. Zentaro's got ability, great addition. You've got some bullets to fire in the lead-up to Saturday.
Long Service Leaf was, as you said, quite impressive first up in his very first race start. He does look well placed. He's drawn well. He's got a good finish on him. I think he's a horse that can go up a level or two. So looking forward to him. And Zentaro, he might be getting towards the end of it, but this will sort of work out where he's going. Masmello was quite good last start, but I'm looking forward to statewide running on Thursday, to be honest. I think he's a talented horse, and he ran third, an unlucky third in the Sires, and a couple more hops and he would have won the race. So he heads off to a maiden there on Thursday. He doesn't have a lot of tactical speed, so he's a little bit hard to ride, but hopefully he can sort of stay in touch, and sort of he'll be hitting the line strongly in the 1300, and I think he's a horse that he can go all the way right through to some features, but need to get a maiden out the way first. Yeah.
Yeah, I see we've got nominations for the Placid Arc and the Guineas and also the Northerleaf for statewide. So hopefully we can kick off the preparation on a winning note on Thursday. Neville, thanks so much for your time, mate. Kick the Ascot season off in style with a winner there on Saturday. Hopefully it just keeps getting bigger and better, mate. All the best.
Thanks, Nev.
Yeah, you're welcome, boys.
Thanks, Nev.